Hello. I've been traveling with this new technology that is sounding really cool. So far, sounding really cool. I've been wrestling this morning for a while with how to get this set up and use my iPad as a monitor. That's not happening. So I decided it's more important just to record something. I'm in Bali, and I've kind of lost track of how long it was that I got here. When I left Kuala Lumpur, I had paid for pre-check extra baggage, and I got to the airport. There's two airports there. Yes, I got to the right one. And as I walked into the airport, I just kept getting directed, go up the escalator, go up that way, go up that way. And the next thing I knew, I never saw a check-in counter. I had pre-checked, so I wound up having the longest walk with my backpack and everything through the airport. And the gate wasn't open yet. I had to wait an hour and a half for the gate to open. And then I went in and asked them if they could pre-check, and they're like, oh, yeah. And so when I actually got to the gate and we're getting ready to board, one of the agents came up to the counter and I pointed to my backpack and I said, I didn't find any place to check that. And they're like, oh, that's okay, just carry it on. And I'm like, this would never happen in America. So when I got here, smooth flight, a little bit longer than flying from Singapore, but still a nice flight. Empty seat beside me, and got to the airport. I went to the grab counter because that's where all the pickups for the airport happen. And then the driver showed up very quickly, but the road was so congested. I was really surprised in 2 years how many more cars there are, and buses and big trucks and construction and so forth. So what normally would be like a 45 minutes or an hour ride was 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. So I left my room left the hostel hotel at 6 a.m. I got on the metro, went to the KL Central Station, got on the KLA Express, went to the airport. So from 6 o'clock traveling until I got here I think I got here around 4:30 in the afternoon. So one of the things that happened with this as being a very spontaneous trip, I was looking online, and I've probably said this already, but listen to me one more time. Found a really inexpensive flight to come over here, and it was like less than half of what it was the last time I flew. And so I started finagling the dates, found a flight, booked it. And one of the things I was really excited about was coming back to see Nyoman and some of the healers that I know. And one of the things that happened was I just really powerfully had the image of Yan, who I worked with about 15, 18 years ago. She's the healer that was written about by Elizabeth Gilbert in Eat, Pray, Love, and she's a friend of mine. And a very quirky kind of an energy. I mean, she's one of those people that people love or hate, or dislike strongly. I don't know, hate's too strong. But when I worked with her, I just had an amazing experience. And I had no idea what she did. I don't try to understand any of it, but I could just feel my energy shifting. And so I found a way to contact her, and she responded to me immediately. So the first night I was here, I went and had a session with Papa Nyoman, and that was great. I mean, just balancing my energy after travel. And I've written this up someplace, but he does a lot of work with reflexology. That's just the word that describes the technique, but it's not what he does. He works with energy and basically says your ancestors come to him and tell him where to go and what to do for you. So he was working around the heel of my left foot on inside, outside. And it's really painful because the energy's stuck. And then all of a sudden it felt better. And then he took my foot and he kind of pressed it inside like that. And the outside of my knee popped. And my knee hasn't been sore since then. So that was my first experience. The next day I went to see my healer friend Katut. When I was here before, I have occasionally an ear issue. And if I'm in the water, I have a smaller canal or something. This ear builds up with wax. I couldn't hear anything. So Papa Nyoman and Yan called as she's coming. I'm like, who? So she showed up with ear candles, but also a small bag of little tools. And she worked and worked and worked, and the ear was better, but it wasn't completely gone. So 2 days later, I went to her place and found out she's actually a massage therapist. And I've had sessions with her before. She just does amazing, deep work and really intuitive about where the things are stuck. And so she went right to the hips, and, because of the fall that I had, that was pretty tight. So then the next day I went out to see Yan, and I'm always a little bit anxious. I don't even know anxious is the right word, but she is so quirky in what she does, and the communication is not clear. And so I'm like, okay, I just know for one thing, absolutely sure. I was really inspired to go see her. And so what I found out was she has another healer who's going to help her work on me. And she contacted a remote healer in France to do energy work. And then she asked me to send her pictures of my hand. And she started meditating and seeing what was going on with my body. And she said, there's like so many things, we may not be able to do this in one session. I'm like, really? So I went there on Wednesday and was there for about 2.5 hours. And, the massage therapist, the healer that she had brought in, worked on things around my shoulders and around my body that nobody, I think, has ever touched before. So she gave me made some medicine. So here's the remnants of the wound. When I went to see her, it was puffy and the scar was long and it was very red. So she took made some medicine with her mortar, rubbed it on there, and within 5 minutes the swelling was gone. And then gave me some medicine to bring back to put on this, and it is almost healed. It looks more inflamed than it is right now because I just got out of the shower, so everything's moist. So, she asked me if I'd been smoking in the past because there's something going on with my lungs. And I smoked like 40 years ago. And then I realized it's not smoking, but there's times in Colorado where that smoke has been so bad. I had a hard time breathing, my throat was burning. If I forgot to wear a mask when I went out to mow the lawn, I was just suffered for a couple days. So she and the healer assistant started working on me, and together, YN sees the energy, and he was looking at my body, and he would step back and look like this, and then all of a sudden he goes, oh, and he would have me move around. And then he would go find a spot. So yesterday she was making some medicine for me. She just wants to enrich and kind of purify my blood. I thought I was going to pick up a medicine, and I was at her place for about 2 hours yesterday. So that's kind of the blur of Bali, but also for me the delight is I've had and seen and witnessed so many remarkable things with healers that work with energy at that level. And when I walked in yesterday, she's like, you're very different already. And so, of course, one of the things she talked about again was the amount of thinking that affects the body, and it affects different parts of the body. And that's come up when I'm over here. And that's a normal part of life in America, is lots of thoughts, thinking, analyzing, controlling, figuring out, being logical, putting things into categories. So today, I'm doing a rest day. So I've been playing with videos and photos, and I'm going to go to a little place that's out in the rice fields and have lunch. I didn't rent a motorbike today because I don't feel like driving, so I'll hire a motorbike driver to take me out there, and then take my brace and stuff and walk back. And then tomorrow I'm having a coffee class. Yay! I have a new grinder at home that I've been really wrestling with. And the company's been supportive, but it's like almost in a way superficial because they're giving me advice for things that I knew 20 years ago. And so when I found out they have another coffee class here from the same place I've gone before, but this one is specifically on espresso. So I'm hoping to learn. I take their beans back with me, so I'm going to be working with them and their grinders, and I'll get a feel for what the espresso should feel like, which is so much more important to me than, set it on number 4. So, and then Tuesday, I'm going to a place called Chandidasa, and I plan to I'm staying in a little resort type place right on the ocean. I'll be there for 3 nights just to get some warm, sunny, sandy, beachy time before I go back to Colorado. So I'm hoping everything here is working. I'm doing this different than I thought, but I'm going to put this together with my movie program and put some slides in here, and this blog post will be mostly just that. So ciao, everybody. Hope you're all doing awesome.